Hey, what is up, guys? This is Bo, or Carl Hungus 712, and today I'm doing my continuation with the Then and Now series with Modern Warfare 2. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably won't like what I have to say about MW2 because it seems like every year everybody kind of does their own poll and asks basically what games we'd like to see come back or what our favorite Call of Duties were. And it seems to come out that Black Ops 2 is always number one, and MW2 is a very close number two. I understand, going back and playing this game again, why a lot of people enjoyed MW2, but for me, anyways, this would go down as there's three Call of Duty games that I think were the worst ever made, and for me, this was one of them. And I'll explain that to you guys as we go on. I'll say after I played a few matches, of course, the positives from this game, the netcode's pretty solid on here. The hit detection's great. If you find lobbies where everybody's on pretty much a 4-bar connection, I mean, this game it's buttery smooth. It's as smooth as some of the newer Call of Duties out there, which is nice to go back and see. A well-made, well-designed game. The guns are fun to use in this game. I'm a FAMAS kind of guy. I love my burst fire assault rifles. The UMP, I think, was the strongest gun. The UMP and the ACR, those are typically the two guns you see your sweaties run around with. And, of course, you have the shotguns, which were pretty strong in this game as well. So if you hate getting cross-mapped by shotguns, you're probably not going to enjoy MW2, but the Spaz is pretty fun to use. It's kind of a trolley gun and everything. And I'll also say, too, one thing I did also enjoyed about MW2 is the maps. I think the maps were well designed in this game. There were some really good maps. This map that we're playing right now, High Rise, this was one of my favorite maps. Terminal was great. There's some other great maps on here, too. I mean, there were a few that I disliked, but those couple right there that I just named were fun. Underpass, I didn't think was too bad of a map. That was kind of a rainy map. Subbase, I hated. I think the problem was with the 360 was that when it came to those snowy maps, it was really difficult to see people. I don't know if that must have just been the hardware wasn't strong enough to render that out properly. But like I said, the maps on here are actually pretty good. They're pretty well designed. What's funny is that they kind of remind me of Ghost maps. I mean, a lot of the maps on MW2 are massive. They're just gigantic maps, but they play pretty well. They really do. They're not all junk. Basically you take a big gigantic map and you throw a bunch of shit everywhere. These maps are pretty well designed. You could tell they were well thought out. Those right there are the positives of this game. The game still plays well. It really does. The sounds of the guns are phenomenal. Like I said, you have a lot of different weapons and things. But getting back to the problems I've had with MW2 and why I just absolutely hate this game, I really do. I mean, every once in a while I have a couple of matches on here that are somewhat bearable. That's why I'm in Team Deathmatch. But of course, the most popular thing everybody discusses when it comes to MW2 was the one-man army nonsense, where basically, if you guys never played MW2 or you don't know what one-man army is, basically at any point in the game you can change your classes. Obviously, you guys know when you pick a class, that's your class until you die. You can't switch it. Well, in MW2 you had the ability to switch classes, and when you switched classes you also refilled all of your ammo supply and everything else. Now with grenade launchers, noob tubes is what they're mostly called, with those being so fucking strong in this game, a lot of people ran one-man army and just basically had an unlimited amount of grenade launchers, noob tubes to shoot across the map. That was one of the most irritating things on this game. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had to quit out of matches just because you go into a game of domination and you can't even take one of your flags because people are popping grenades across the map. An unlimited amount of grenades, which is just so frustrating. It really is. But like I said, that was one of the most irritating things. I think if they would have fixed that, the game probably would have been maybe in my top half of the Call of Duties I enjoyed. If they would have fixed that. The balancing on the game, I think quick scoping was a bit too easy in this game. I can't tell you how many times I've come around corners and just pop shotted just instantly, and of course that's always going to be a thing in Call of Duty. Obviously, Black Ops 3 probably did the best job nerfing the snipers. Basically, if you were a really good sniper, you were fine. If you were just kind of a lucky guy, which you'll see a lot of times on here with the quick scopers, if it's pretty lucky with the auto aim and everything, that helps you out quite a bit. So that's also kind of irritating in this game. Like I said, the one-man army nonsense, that's really hurt the game. Tactical insertions, that's another thing. Of course, it's hard to knock the game with those because that was just kind of the thing back then. Everybody just had tac inserts. I mean, that's just what people ran back then. You know, they were supposed to help you in objective-based games. Unfortunately, people, you know, they'd camp out and go for nukes using tac inserts and stuff, and just it really put a strain on the game. That's obviously why they ended up taking those out. I believe it was Ghost is when they took those out, but for the most part, I mean, if it wasn't for those couple of things there, I think MW2 would be a pretty solid game entry into the series. I really do. The game still plays well. I will say this, you're going to struggle finding matches. Obviously, it's an older game. It's a very old game. This game's got to be about 10 years old. So you're not going to find all kinds of lobbies. The lobbies are laggy. That's just another thing you're going to experience. If you have a NetDuma like I do or something like that, you'll probably get away with it, but that, and also one thing I hated in this game was the tactical nuke. Basically, your kill streaks kind of stacked on each other, and you could get kills basically by, I think you'd get up to 7 for the Harrier, and then you could work off your other kills to get the nuke, which kind of was unfortunate too, because it caused the game to end, so... but other than that, I think the game was pretty solid. If it wasn't for those flaws in the game, I think it would have been one of my probably top half ones. Originally, I probably would have gave this game a 5 or a 6. I'd probably still give it about a 6, maybe a 7, but probably a 6, 6.5. But I'd like to hear your comments in the comments section to see if you guys really enjoyed MW2 or not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next video, and bow out.